I'm Tarot Oracle. This is an unboxing and quick look at the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. Tarot deck and guidebook. And here is the back of the Slow Tarot by Modern Eden Gallery, printed in China and apparently released this year. So I got this for the obvious reason of I love artsy decks. So yeah, I'm guilty as charged. I do enjoy the artsy decks, and wow, that is really sticky. So it comes in a hardbound box, and open that thing up, and here we go, the Slow Tarot. Very sort of artsy looking book, very thin book as well. Let's take a look at what we got here. So pretty much got a paragraph per card. It is color, which I'm surprised they didn't do a better use of getting through that color. Talks about 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s as a block instead of doing each individual card. So you pretty much have to go with numerology if you're going to stick with that. So the deck just comes in with a little plastic around it. And hopefully I can get this off without damaging the deck. There we go. There we go. All right, so obviously that is going to be the back. So there is the back of the Slow Tarot. And now we get to the good part, the front of said Slow Tarot. The Fool. How interesting is that? Interesting is that. I like that the sun sort of corresponds with her face. So you get that idea. And the dog is sort of chasing behind. Card quality is really thin. Wow. That is remarkably thin, actually. Trying to compare it to another deck. I can't. This could possibly be the thinnest cardstock I have. It is, I think it's linen. I know linen has a restriction on how thick you can make it. This feels like linen and has the reflective properties of linen. So it could be 310 GSM. I'm not sure, but wow, that's thin. Anyway, sorry to be obsessive about how thin the cards are, but kind of surprised at how thin those are. The Magician, very interesting. So I know these all are paintings, so that excited me, and I want to see it. We sort of have the Roman numeral thing going on. An interesting High Priestess with the B and the J being just basically statues. It's interesting. The Empress, there we go. An interesting Empress as well. Emperor. We got the Aries Ram as per the proper Emperor. The Hermit. That is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that the light is on him instead of the lighting the area around him. So it's very focused. It's almost like an introspection focused. Hierophant, pretty standard. I like the doves. That's very cute. The Lovers, I do like that as well. I like the candlelight. The candlelight sort of in that evening setting. The Chariot, pretty modern there. Pretty modern there. And had the books. A lot of good things with the intuition. I would like to do the books and the suitcase. The Chariot, they're literally moving somewhere. They're literally moving somewhere. Strength, pretty standard. Pretty standard Leo feel there. Fortune, how interesting is that? Wheel of Fortune, and it's just sort of tossing the coins up into the air and winking at us. Balance, okay, all right. And Death, pretty traditional. I do like the apples that are rotting. So in other words, it seems like the scarecrow's been out there for quite some time type feel. The Hanged Man, I like that as well. Has some interesting sort of spider webs. I like the spider webs. How interesting is that? And then he's sort of doing a sort of string in his hands. Temperance. Pouring a cup of coffee. It looks like at an event. It looks like at a funeral almost. They're dressed like a funeral. The Sun, really like that. I like the reaching up towards the sun. I like the expression. I like the sunflowers. Temptation. Oh, that is not tempting at all, but Temptation, interesting. The Tower, I like that. I like the theme of that. I especially like the cat at the bottom of it. Just that volatile sort of cat that could at any time drop all the cards, and yet the kid is dropping all the cards instead. And the rain in the background, the rainy window, really sort of brings it to a point, right? Because you have that gloomy outside. It's gloomy outside, and it's almost like the kid is making it gloomy inside. That was very, very interesting what they did with that. That's possibly the coolest tower I've ever seen. The moon, I like that. That's an interesting take on it. Sort of have that two entrances into caves. You sort of wonder what's in there, kind of feel. Star as well has the sort of the navigational tools and the star and trying to get, I guess, she's on a ship, obviously, and the other ship is having some issues. A lot of stuff. This is why I like art that's done, artwork that's turned into tarot, because you have a lot of these interesting parts that you can sort of key your intuition off of and look at. The world, I think that's nice. Interesting take on it. I've seen something similar before. Ace of Wands, I like that. I like the frog, the lizard, sort of climbing up there, and the fact that it's sort of windy, and you have the dandelions sort of fragmented. Two of Wands, Dominion, trying to figure out where we're going to go. Three of Wands, looking out into the distance. That's interesting. There's three different people looking out into the distance. And the Four of Wands, that home feel. We have the celebration in the background. Sort of like the home is new, right? They're still building the home. The home is new. They're sort of setting up and they're getting ready for a celebration almost. I like this. I really like this. Man, I wish the cards weren't this thin. Really wish they weren't that thin. Just look at that. Look how that just flops. Anyway. Five of Wands, the conflict, but not so serious. Six of Wands, the victory feel. I like the colors on that. Seven of Wands, defending ourselves more or less. Just sort of getting away from it all. That's a different interpretation of that for sure. Eight of Wands. The fact that the wands are on fire really sort of brings it to a head there. That is very interesting. It's almost like, if you're reading with this, Eight of Wands, it's almost like that you're moving in a hurry, or you're moving for a good reason. You're moving for a good reason because things are on fire. I like the reinterpretation of that. That's very interesting. Nine of Wands, not really sure what to think of that. I'm not really sure what's going on with the card. Obviously boxed in. We do have barriers behind it and whatnot. Ten of Wands, pretty traditional. The bees sort of make everything worse. I guess those are bees. Those are bees or locusts. I'm not really sure. Page of Wands. Interesting. And what is that on there? Is that the lizard? The lizard is back? Or are those wings? Not really sure. But it looks cool. Looks cool. Knight of Wands. I like it. Sort of that almost that hippie feel. It's interesting. Queen of Wands. I like that as well. The two dogs. And the crown of, I guess, branches. Almost like a nest. King of Wands. That is really interesting. What is this pattern down here? The pattern and the mask. And the books. A lot of interesting things. Why is there a floating lamp? A lot of interesting things going on in that King of Wands for sure. All right, here we go with the cups. I love the flower reinterpretation. That's nice. Two of Cups. Aw. Two of Cups sitting there. The guy looks really serious. That dude looks really serious. Three of Cups. That successful emotion. That emotional celebration. Pretty traditional. I like the overhang of roses sort of added to that. The Four of Cups, the blended pleasure, has all of these cups. I like how one is chipped, and I like how they're varied. Now this brings up an interesting point about just how varied these cups are. It's not like the Rider-Waite-Smith where they're all the same. A lot of variation within that. That is really cool looking. Five of Cups, pretty traditional, broken cups. I like the mirror, and again, it's rainy outside. I see that theme with all the negative cards. It's rainy outside. How interesting is that? Six of Cups, I really like that. Again, the variations of all that. The 7, the illusionary success, very interesting. 8 of Cups, pretty traditional, pretty traditional. 9 of Cups, that is interesting. Sort of having it all. What is going on with her face? That is interesting. That is interesting. That's going to take some analysis. Some analysis. 10 of Cups, very traditional and great. How fantastic is that? I love the colors on this. Page of Cups with the fish. With the fish. How cute is that? He's not looking at the fish, but okay, whatever. 9 of Cups, I can put up with that. 9 of Cups has a cup in his hand. And the Queen of Cups, nice, nice, nice. I like that. Look how casual the King of Cups is. So casual. It's like normally it's very, very good posture in the throne. But here we have a very casual attitude. I think we could get a lot from intuition from that. So the Ace of Swords, traditionally penetrating the crown of Kether on the Tree of Life, but instead penetrating the crown of Kether as, I guess, I don't know what that flower is. I'm sorry. I know it's not a rose. Don't know what it is. Anyway, it's a flower, but yeah, that's cute. And I like how the bird is sort of making a nest almost, trying to make a nest within there. It's very interesting. 2 of Swords, instead of being blinded, we have conflict. It's almost like a reimagining of the 5 of Wands, isn't it? 3 of Swords, very traditional, but with blood. Okay, I remember when I made my digital tarot, and I had some blood coming out of one of the cards. Everyone complained. But okay, sure, whatever. 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords. Rest, relaxation. Not exactly relaxation, sort of rest from being weary from the last card. 5 of Swords. Okay. That one kind of took me off guard there. Okay, the 5 of Swords took me off guard, I'm going to have to say. Defeat. I can understand defeat. But that is unusual, I guess. 6 of Swords, a usual trip. We don't have any swords penetrating the hull. We just have a trip. It's not really that negative a card. It's not a great card. It's not really that negative a card. So I think that really sort of represents a lot of that. Very cool, very interesting. 7 of Swords, stealing quite a bit. And again, we have the variety. The cup variety, the sword variety, a lot of variety. It's not like the Rider-Waite-Smith and other clones where you have the same cup or you have the same sword. You have a lot of variety here. Well, maybe not here, but I mean here you do. And I like the cat sort of watching as the things go down. 8 of Swords, so that helplessness. 9 of Swords, the bad dreams. I'm not sure what's going on with the horse. I guess the horse caused the bad dreams. I'm not really sure. 10 of Swords, overkill. That's pretty dramatic. That's pretty dramatic. Page of Swords. I like it. I like it. Almost has that area or what is it? Arya feel from Game of Thrones, right? Knight of Swords, pretty traditional. Queen of Swords, and the King. How interesting is the King, right? And the Queen. Where's the light coming off the sword? Sort of shining a light on stuff. Wow, that could be the best Ace of Pentacles I've ever seen. What a great card. What a great card. A lot of symbology in here. The roll of the dice and the different keys as well. Very, very cool. 2 of Coins with the choices and the balance. I'm not sure what's going on with the tub, the bathtub, and the 8, but sure. The 3 of Coins, the work, showing off your work. I like it. Very, very nice. The 4 of Coins, hanging on to what we have. She is definitely doing that. The 5 of Coins, being broke. Yeah, okay, sure. Sort of begging for money. 6 of Coins, handing it out. And having a balance. How interesting. Sort of very traditional. 7 of Coins, planting it and letting it grow. Looks like they're going to let it grow by cheating. Have a little poker cheating going on right there. 8 of Coins, again with the work, putting up the work. It looks like it's a teamwork. Teamwork, I like this. I really look forward to reading with this. That 8 of Coins is a good teamwork card. 9 of Coins, pretty traditional. 10 of Coins, having everything. Page, that is interesting. It's an interesting reimagining of this. The artwork is so beautiful. I just wish the cardstock wasn't this bad. Knight of Coins, pretty much. Queen of Coins and King of Coins. Very, very cool. So let's take 2 seconds here